Some of the smartest tractors America ever built ended up forgotten. Not because they were weak, because they were too advanced. Electronics nobody trusted, features a decade early, technology farmers didn't understand. These machines were the future, but the 1980s weren't ready for them. Get ready to meet the American tractors that disappeared, but should have changed everything. Number 1. Allis-Chalmers 8070. The Allis-Chalmers 8070 stands today as one of the most underappreciated tractors of the 1980s, a machine that proved just how far ahead of the curve Allis-Chalmers engineers truly were. When it launched, the agricultural industry was still dominated by mechanically controlled tractors with simple dashboards, stiff gearboxes, and cabins that were more functional than comfortable. The 8070 didn't fit in with that world. It felt like something from the future. Powered by the Allis 426 cubic inch turbocharged diesel, the tractor produced well over 200 horsepower, giving farmers enough muscle to handle bigger implements, larger acreages, and more demanding workloads. But power alone wasn't what made the 8070 extraordinary. It was Allis-Chalmers' early integration of electronics, something nearly no other manufacturer was brave enough to experiment with at that time. The 8070 included advanced engine monitoring systems, early electronic draft controls, and a dashboard layout that gave operators a deeper understanding of how the tractor was performing under load. These concepts would later become standard, but in the early 1980s they were revolutionary. The cab was another standout feature, with excellent visibility, wide entry doors, climate control, and exceptional insulation that made long field days far more bearable than on competing machines. The power director transmission made shifting easier than the heavy grinding gearboxes many farmers were used to, offering a smoother driving experience while reducing operator fatigue. Unfortunately, the 8070 was introduced during the financial collapse of Allis-Chalmers, and many farmers were hesitant to invest in a tractor from a company that was struggling. As a result, one of the most forward-thinking tractors ever built quietly faded into the background. Yet looking back today, it's clear that the Allis 8070 was a decade ahead of its time, paving the way for the technologically advanced machines that dominate modern farming. Number 2. Massey Ferguson 3660. American market. The Massey Ferguson 3660, though assembled for the American market, is widely forgotten today despite being one of the boldest tractors of the 1980s. What made it truly groundbreaking was the Datatronic onboard computer system, something way ahead of anything American farmers had seen before. In an era when most tractors still relied on analog gauges and mechanical levers, the 3660's ability to analyze fuel consumption, measure wheel slip, track field efficiency, and provide live performance feedback was astonishing. Today, nearly every modern tractor uses similar onboard tech, but Massey Ferguson pioneered it long before the industry realized how valuable it would become. The tractor was powered by a strong 6-cylinder engine that delivered reliable torque and consistent performance across tough field conditions. The DynaShift transmission allowed seamless shifting under load without clutching, another feature that was decades ahead of many competitors. Operator comfort was also a key focus of the 3660. The cab boasted wide visibility, a suspended front axle that absorbed bumps on rough ground, and controls arranged around the operator in an ergonomic layout that made long days feel shorter. It was the type of tractor that didn't just work hard, it made the operator's job easier and more efficient. Despite its capabilities, the 3660 never gained widespread success in the United States. Massey Ferguson was navigating financial instability, dealer networks were shrinking, and farmers were wary of investing in a company that appeared uncertain about its future. As a result, the 3660 slipped quietly into obscurity even though it showcased technologies that modern tractors now rely on heavily. In hindsight, this tractor wasn't just ahead of its time, it was a preview of the future of precision farming. Number 3. White 2155 Series 3. The White 2155 Series 3 represents one of the most quietly capable American tractors of the 1980s, a machine that delivered strength, durability, and smooth performance, but never earned the recognition it truly deserved. Its heart was the rugged 478 cubic inch Hercules diesel engine, famous for its low-end torque and ability to power through heavy soil without bogging down. Farmers who used the 2155 often described it as having more power than the numbers showed, which was a testament to the Hercules engine's brute force design. The Series 3 update introduced major improvements to cooling, hydraulics, and transmission reliability, making it one of the best-built tractors White ever produced. The cab of the 2155 Series 3 was one of the most comfortable of the early 1980s, featuring oversized windows, excellent air conditioning, logical control placement, and insulation that significantly reduced noise. While competitors like John Deere and Case IH were spending heavily on advertising, White focused on engineering and user-friendliness. The tractor's over-under hydraulic shift transmission was a standout, offering smooth shifting under load and giving farmers more control without constant clutching. Despite its strengths, the 2155 Series 3 struggled in the market because White Tractor Corporation was declining rapidly during the decade. Dealerships were closing, parts support became uncertain, and many farmers simply gravitated toward brands they believed would survive the long term. Yet those who owned the 2155 often kept it for decades, praising its reliability and long service life. Today, the tractor stands as one of the most underrated engineering achievements of the 1980s, proof that great machines can still be forgotten when a company falls on hard times. Number 4. The Ford TW35. The Ford TW35 was the most powerful model in Ford's TW lineup and represented the peak of Ford's engineering strength during the early 1980s. Despite its capabilities, it never received the recognition enjoyed by its competitors. Under the hood, it featured the legendary 401 cubic-inch turbocharged diesel engine, an engine known for durability, consistent torque delivery, and minimal mechanical issues even after thousands of hours of hard use. At nearly 190 horsepower, the TW35 gave farmers the muscle needed for demanding tillage work, large implements, and long field days. One of the tractor's major strengths was its full-frame construction, which made it much sturdier than many competitors that relied on engine block structural support. This design allowed the TW35 to handle heavy front-mounted tools and loaders without risking frame cracks or stress failures. Ford also refined its Selecto speed and dual power transmission features, creating a driving experience that felt smoother and more flexible than many mechanical gearboxes of the time. The tractor's hydraulics were strong and reliable, offering consistent flow and faster implement response than many earlier Ford models. The cab of the TW35 was also surprisingly modern for its time. Large steps, wide doors, excellent visibility, and well-designed ventilation made it operator-friendly. Inside, noise levels were surprisingly low, and control placements were easy to reach and understand. Yet despite all these advantages, the TW35 was overshadowed by bigger brand names during a time of industry mergers, advertising wars, and shifting customer loyalty. Ford's agricultural identity was fading as the company moved toward forming New Holland, and the TW series never received the spotlight it deserved. Even so, the TW35 remains one of the smartest and most forward-thinking tractors Ford ever built. Number 5. Case 4690. The Case 4690 is one of the most technologically radical American tractors ever created. Its defining feature was its unique four-wheel crab steering system, which allowed operators to steer the tractor in ways traditional articulated machines couldn't. With multiple steering modes including articulated steering and true crab steering, the 4690 could move diagonally, reduce soil compaction, and maneuver around obstacles with far greater flexibility. These concepts feel normal on today's massive and advanced 40WD tractors, but in 1980 this was groundbreaking engineering. The tractor was powered by the massive 504 cubic-inch turbocharged Case diesel engine, an engine known for producing exceptional torque and providing steady pulling power across long workdays. Despite its size, the 4690 delivered impressive fuel efficiency due to smart gearing and well-engineered hydraulics. The cab was positioned high above the articulation joint, providing unmatched visibility and a commanding field view. With large windows, excellent insulation, and a forward-thinking layout, the 4690 made operators feel as if they were in a much newer machine than the era suggested. Hydraulics were another area where the 4690 shined. Its system was capable of faster response times than many competitors, allowing it to handle modern large implements long before they became common. But despite being exceptionally advanced, the tractor's unusual appearance, high stance, squared-off body, and unconventional wheelbase made many farmers hesitant. They simply weren't ready for something that looked so different. Because of this, the 4690 never reached its potential in the market, even though it was one of the most innovative tractors of the entire decade. Today, it stands as a symbol of how visionary engineering can sometimes be too far ahead of the market it was meant to serve. Number 6. Deutz-Allis DX160. The Deutz-Allis DX160 was one of the most futuristic tractors to appear in 1980s America. Yet it remains one of the most overlooked. Coming from the merger between Deutz and Allis-Chalmers, the Deutz160 carried German engineering wrapped in American expectations, and that combination was both its greatest strength and its downfall. At its core was the legendary Deutz air-cooled diesel engine, a design praised across Europe for its reliability, fuel efficiency, and ability to run cool under heavy workloads. Unlike water-cooled competitors, the Deutz160 didn't rely on radiators or coolant systems, making it immune to overheating and coolant-related failures. But American farmers were deeply accustomed to liquid-cooled engines and viewed the air-cooled system as unusual, even risky despite its proven durability. The DX160 also featured a sophisticated power shift transmission that gave operators the ability to shift under load with minimal effort. Its hydraulics were fast and responsive, offering levels of control that most American tractors wouldn't reach until the 1990s. The cab was another standout element of the DX160. It had a sharply angled, futuristic design with large windows, comfortable insulation, and ergonomic controls that surrounded the operator in a way that felt more like a modern European tractor than the boxier layouts common in the US during that era. The tractor's visibility, comfort, and control layout were unmatched by most American-made models. Yet, despite its brilliance, the DX160 never became a mainstream success. Confusion during the Deutz-Allis transition caused dealer networks to shrink, resulting in limited parts availability and poor brand confidence. Many farmers worried about long-term support, even though the tractor itself was incredibly reliable. Over time, the DX160 faded into obscurity, remembered only by enthusiasts. Today, with modern tractors embracing more advanced engineering, the DX160 stands out as a machine that arrived too early, a tractor that demonstrated the future before the market was ready to accept it. Number 7. Versatile 1150. The Versatile 1150 was, without question, one of the most extreme tractors ever to roll across American farmland during the 1980s. At a time when most farmers considered 180 to 220 horsepower to be big, the 1150 was an absolute monster, packing nearly 400 horsepower from its massive Detroit diesel 12-volt 71 two-stroke engine. This engine, with its unmistakable scream and incredible torque output, delivered more brute force than anything else available in its class. The tractor was built specifically for huge acreages, deep tillage, and farming operations that demanded raw pulling strength, tasks that ordinary tractors simply weren't capable of managing at the time. Everything on the 1150 was heavy-duty. The axles were oversized and built to withstand extreme stress. The articulation joint was reinforced to handle the enormous torque being pushed through the frame. The transmission was engineered to operate reliably under workloads that would have destroyed lesser machines. Even the cooling system was advanced for the era, designed to keep the big Detroit engine running efficiently during long, hot field days. The cab, while not luxurious by today's standards, was large and functional, offering good visibility and enough comfort for extended hours of operation. The real reason the Versatile 1150 faded into obscurity was not its performance, but the era it lived in. The early to mid-1980s were marked by financial hardships for American farmers. Very few could justify a tractor of this size, and those who could often preferred brands with broader dealer networks. As a result, the 1150 became a rare sight, but in hindsight, it was a machine far ahead of its time, predicting the modern era of ultra-high horsepower articulated tractors that now dominate large-scale farming. The Versatile 1150 was a beast built for the future. It just arrived too early. Number 8. International Harvester 6788. The International Harvester 6788 was one of the most unique tractors ever produced in America. A bold machine that combined the power of a large tractor with the agility of a smaller one. It belonged to IH's famous and highly controversial 2+2 series, which placed the operator cab and engine on the rear section while the front section, suspended past the articulation joint, carried the drive wheels. This layout gave the tractor an elongated appearance that many farmers found strange, but beneath its unconventional looks was a design packed with genuinely advanced engineering. The 6788's long wheelbase and pivot placement gave it exceptional traction, especially in conditions where conventional tractors struggled with slipping. Its weight distribution was nearly perfect for pulling large implements through challenging soil. The tractor's ability to turn sharply thanks to its 4WD articulated nature made it surprisingly nimble despite its size. For row crop conditions, the 6788 offered unmatched stability and footprint, giving farmers the pulling strength of a large tractor combined with the maneuverability of a smaller one, a combination that modern articulated row crop tractors now strive to achieve. Inside the cab, the 6788 provided comfort, visibility, and climate control that matched or exceeded many competitors. The hydraulics were strong, responsive, and reliable, supporting a wide range of implements with ease. The tractor's 6-cylinder diesel engine delivered ample torque, and owners often praised its durability and low-maintenance needs. Unfortunately, the tractor was a victim of its circumstances. Many farmers simply weren't ready for a tractor that looked so different, and the financial collapse of International Harvester overshadowed its potential. Production ended early, leaving the 6788 largely forgotten. Today, collectors and enthusiasts appreciate the genius behind the 2+2 concept, recognizing the 6788 as an engineering marvel that modern farms would have benefited from, if only it had been given the time to be understood. Number 9. Steiger Bearcat III. The Steiger Bearcat III represents the rugged, overbuilt engineering that made Steiger famous. Yet this particular model remains one of the least acknowledged in American tractor history. Introduced in the early 1980s, the Bearcat III was designed to deliver dependable high-horsepower performance in a package that prioritized strength and longevity over flashy features. It was powered by a robust Cummins diesel engine known for its high torque output, exceptional reliability, and ability to run long hours without complaint. Farmers who used this tractor admired its ability to handle tough soil conditions and heavy implements without hesitation. One of the Bearcat III's most advanced features was its modular design philosophy. Major components like the transmission, axles, articulation joints, and hydraulic systems were engineered to be easily accessible and replaceable. This approach, which many modern tractors now rely on, made maintenance faster and reduced downtime dramatically. At a time when many manufacturers were building tractors that required extensive labor just to reach basic components, Steiger was already thinking ahead with a system that made servicing straightforward and efficient. The Bearcat III also excelled in operator comfort. The cab was well insulated, spacious, and provided excellent visibility over the long articulated frame. Controls were simple and logically arranged, allowing operators to work for extended periods without fatigue. The articulation joint was particularly smooth and stable, giving the Bearcat a level of handling refinement that many articulated tractors of the era lacked. Despite these strengths, the Bearcat III never reached its full recognition. Steiger itself faced financial challenges that later led to its acquisition by Case IH, and the company's branding became diluted. The Bearcat III quietly disappeared, overshadowed by the rising success of other articulated models. But engineering-wise, it set standards that influenced tractors for decades to come. Number 10. Minneapolis-Moline Oliver 2655. The Minneapolis-Moline Oliver 2655, later sold under the white name, represents the final breath of true old-school American tractor engineering. A machine built around brute strength, massive displacement, and durability over everything else. Its heart was the enormous 585 cubic inch Minneapolis-Moline diesel engine, one of the largest engines ever installed in a row crop or articulated tractor. This power plant delivered extraordinary low-end torque, enabling the 2655 to pull heavy tillage equipment effortlessly, even in dense, unforgiving soil. The tractor didn't rely on fancy electronics or advanced systems. Instead, it was built with thick steel, oversized components, and a mechanical design philosophy centered around longevity. The 2655 also featured a rugged transmission designed to handle extreme workloads without failure. Its cooling system was engineered for harsh conditions, ensuring stable operation during long, hot workdays. The tractor's heavy frame and balanced weight distribution made it exceptionally stable in the field, giving it the ability to transfer power to the ground more effectively than many competitors of its time. Inside the cab, operators enjoyed more space, better insulation, and improved comfort compared to the earlier Minneapolis-Moline models of the 1960s and 1970s. While not luxurious, the cab offered a practical and durable environment that reduced fatigue during long shifts. Despite its strengths, the 2655 was released during a period of corporate consolidation and brand identity crisis. White farm equipment struggled to maintain strong dealer networks, and many farmers were unsure about long-term support for a brand caught between mergers. As a result, only a limited number of these tractors were sold, and their legacy faded quietly into history. Today, the 2655 is admired by collectors and tractor historians as one of the last true American-built monsters, designed with raw power, massive mechanical engineering, and a philosophy that prioritized toughness above all else. It was a tractor ahead of its time, yet a relic of a disappearing era. These tractors may have been forgotten by the market, but their ideas shaped the future of American farming. Electronics, comfort features, transmissions, power upgrades, the innovations they introduced became standards years later. If you enjoyed rediscovering these overlooked pioneers, hit like, subscribe, and tell me which forgotten tractor impressed you the most. Thanks for watching and stay tuned, because the next video uncovers even more machines that were decades ahead of the world around them.